Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Monday morning, April 2nd, 2018, around 10 in the morning Eastern time. We had some snow last night. We had about around 3 inches. Started about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night. It's, obviously it's starting to melt a bit and fall off the trees. Yep. I remember we had this back in 86 or 87 actually. We had no, it was 86. We had we had 12 inches of snow overnight on the night of April 3rd. And I woke up April 4th to find, like 12, 14 inches of snow. And it was pretty much covering the boat and the truck that I had left out all packed to go on a trip down to Lake Fontana, North Carolina. We went anyway. Yeah, that was a fun week. Awful pretty today though. So, YouTubers, the snow is basically melted. It certainly melted off of my front porch, and pretty much off everything else too. So, but we had about 3 inches of it, as I said. It's been well, of course, yesterday evening was Easter Sunday evening, which meant that yesterday morning was Easter Sunday morning, which meant that I read in church at the 8 o'clock service. And it was interesting. Our church basically sits almost due north-south. What would be traditionally called the east end faces the south, and the north, and what would be called the west end is the north. Is actually facing the north. And the windows, you have the side windows, and at this time of year, well, and also in the fall, at the equinoxes, or for like a couple of 3 weeks on either side of the equinox, excuse me, you get the sun comes in those windows, and particularly if you're reading at 8 o'clock, and just comes right straight in, and the lay readers sit on what is in reality the west side of the chancel. So the sun just comes right into your face, and it's blindingly so. So you essentially have to sort of stand there, with your eyes almost shut, and or sit there with your eyes almost shut, and or shut actually during some parts of the service, so that you don't completely destroy your eyes. Of course, by the end of the service, around 8:50, it's moved enough that you wouldn't actually be in the sun. Yeah, so that's occupational hazards of being a lay reader at the equinoxes. Equinoxes, equinoxes. Sermon was very pedestrian sermon. Can't say anything. Nobody threw up. I didn't throw up. Nobody threw up. Right after the service, there was going to be some sort of brunch-like affair served between services. I have stayed for that in the past from time to time, not every year. I didn't this year. Not because I don't like the people. It's just it's a potluck thing, and I don't bring any food, so I don't really feel right eating people's food if I didn't bring any food to contribute. So I did bring some stuff once, but I tend to like to spice my stuff up fairly, stiffly, heavily, and I had a number of people piss and moan to me about, I can't eat that, eat this, I can't eat that. Well, fuck it, then screw it. At least I tried. So much for being grateful if somebody gives you something, huh? Went over to Liz and Henry's, walked over just a hair before 5, actually just a hair after 5. Henry's co-worker, George, was going to be there. He actually got there about 2 minutes before I did. I saw his car pull into the driveway while I was standing on the corner to cross Worthington Road. And it's always good to see him. I've met him once before, and I really like the guy. He's really smart. He's very interesting. We're about the same age. Sort of came from the same background, meaning kind of like lower middle class, struggling a bit, And apparently, I hadn't realized this. Henry and he had gone to neighboring high schools and were at Kent State University at the same time. So they got talking about Kent State University stories. And of course, it's always fun to listen to these two guys go on. And I didn't feel right doing any videoing about that. So I didn't shoot anything. But it was really good food. Liz is a fantastic cook, and we had the obligatory Easter ham, of course, and Liz's famous deviled eggs, and in abundance. Henry was grilling. He'd gotten some deal on really, really, really good, ribeye, and I think what he got was he got a huge standing rib roast. Must have been about this big, and he sliced between the ribs and made actual ribeye steaks but then he went ahead and cut the rib out, and so he had these pieces of meat about the size of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that he grilled as individual steaks. And by golly, this is the first time that he's ever cooked meat, at least meat that I end up eating, where it is not stone, bone, ass, dried up, overcooked stuff. This was actually just perfect. Just warm enough that would pass as cooked food. Beautiful. And of course the flavor was just unparalleled. And they said, well, you don't have to eat all that because, you're going to take all the leftovers home anyway. I said, okay. Well, I ended up eating almost all but about this much of that slab of meat. I did not at one time ever feel full. I was amazed. It's been a long time since I've eaten. I just don't eat much beef anymore. It's a long time since I've eaten meat that good, and it's really and that much at one go for sure. Outstanding. Well, I'll tell you, they gave me the bones too, so I'm going to make a hell of a meat, beef broth off that, and I can see lots of basically beefy noodle brothy stuff being cooked around here for a couple, 3, 4 weeks to come, even, really. So, yeah, I walked home. Actually, I walked home in the snow. It had been snowing just about, well, it's one of these things when it starts up with a will, I mean, you sort of say, you look out the window, you say, oh, it's snowing. And then you look out the window and say, oh, good Lord, I better get home, So I usually have very good luck walking home because there's almost no traffic at that time, around here on a Sunday night. And so I scampered on. I was able to scamper down my side of Worthington Road and into my driveway without having to worry about getting run off the road by a car. So that's about it. That's all the news that's fit to tell right now. Paul didn't come over today to do his laundry. Maybe he'll be over tomorrow to do his laundry. My son says he's going to be up sometime this week, so my prediction is like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or possibly Sunday afternoon. I don't know. He's got stuff to do over at his mother's condo yet, so he said he's going to do some work there a couple of afternoons. Well, mornings and afternoons. So his school is off, where he teaches. The Catholic schools are off this week. Liz's school, the public school system, was off last week around here. I don't know when Columbus public schools are out. So that's it. Bye-bye, YouTubers. Enjoy some of the pictures of the snow here. All righty, if I haven't already stuck them in. Okay, bye-bye.